This is the Transformers Legends Super Robots Combine Assort LGEX God Ginrai or God Jinrai by Takara Tomy. And this is sort of like the gift set because you've got God Bomber and Jinrai himself. Then you Optimus Prime, the powermaster Optimus Prime and God Bomber, and you combine it to form God Ginrai or Jinrai. And here's a look. Whoa, look at that box. Some really nice Photoshop artwork on this packaging. The box is a little bit flimsy though. It's a little bit on the thin side, and I don't know if they're cutting costs on that. But yeah, it is. I've seen that for Astro Train, for Six Shot, and some of the other boxed Legends class figures, and it's gone cheaper. The material. I picked up this figure at our Toys, and if you're wondering how much it costs, in Toys R Us Hong Kong, since this is supposedly a Japan market product. In Toys R Us in Hong Kong, my wife saw a bunch of these, and they were going for about, I don't know, like $140 or something like that, like $140, $150, something like that. It is very pricey, but if you bought the Jinrai separately and the God Bomber, they're gonna set you back about $120. So for the extra $20, you are purchasing the really nice box, and you get 4 Titan Master figures. The head of the Power Master Optimus Prime, the head of God Bomber, and two other Titan Masters, and it's an homage to how the old toys were back then, and I'm interested to see how they pan out. So we're gonna open the set together. We're gonna find out together if it's really worth your money, and yeah, let's get it out of packaging. And here is the LGEX God Ginrai set out of packaging. It comes transformed already in alt mode, so we're gonna start there. Truck mode, and you can attach the weapons on the side, and you can plug in the hitch right there in between his feet. It's not a very strong connection. It'll pop off as soon as as the legs move apart. The gun needs to be assembled and put together. The blade is inside. There's a missile and or sort of like a sheath, and then the helmet is here, and as you've already, it just popped off right there. You can easily snap it back on right there. You have to assemble it and attach it there. And here it is. And here are the Titan Masters. This is the Ginrai, the Optimus Prime Titan Master. I don't have the Hasbro to compare it with, or the original God Ginrai because I've already sold them. This is the only ones I have, and this is God Bomber's head. Here are the robots, and the 2 others right here. This kind of reminds me of Haikyuu, and this one of somebody else. I'm sure they've repurposed some other Titan Master, Headmaster for these figures, and they've painted them really nicely. Okay, nice plastic, nice white. Okay, and just to give you a size comparison of how long this whole trailer is, here they are with Ultra Magnus. Let me see if I can move that apart. So it's pretty long, right there. Okay, so Ultra Magnus done. It also comes with a really nice, very detailed manual, which I have just started reading. Very lengthy, much like the Power Master Optimus Prime that had it, and it has a nice little NSFW comic book. It starts like this, and you flip it over. I am not going to show you the first panel because, again, as I said, NSFW. you just work your imagination what the first panel is, and then that's it. Okay, that's the entire story. Okay, enough of that. First thing I think we should do, I want to get these two into separate robot modes before we do the whole combined mode in the end. But let me show you the base mode of the God Bomber set first. So here he is. Here's the trailer. It's like a goofy looking trailer. Obviously, you know, it's a bunch of armor pieces and whatnot. And there is a base mode, so we'll get to that right now. So to transform the God Bomber into base mode, I'm going to do a little bit of a cheat sheet right here because I haven't actually transformed it. I have not reviewed the God Bomber set. I mean, even the original version. The original version I sold it together with my Takara Tony Legends Powermaster Optimus Prime, and it had a silver painted chest. This one is new to me. It's chrome, and it's clear plastic that's been painted chrome. So that is a big difference, and I thought that was very impressive. It looks the same. The other pieces, they look the same. There's chrome missile, obviously, and everything that. So first thing you want to do, you want to remove this cannon piece, and already you can see the this is the helmet, and you're supposed to remove the blade very gently. I had a difficult time inserting this blade, and the reason for that is because I didn't want to scratch or muck up that vac metal chrome application on it, and already you can see it's a very nice finish. The lights are not doing it any justice, but it's a really nice finish, mirror chrome finish. Okay, just like the missile tip, which is attached to the handle, and the handle, just clip it on like that, and it becomes God Bomber's sword. Okay, just plug this one in so you don't lose it, or just remove that. And I suppose you're supposed to keep this one here just to simulate that missile thing going. Okay, all right, and you're supposed to plug this on top of the base, which we will do right now. Okay, so to do that whole base transformation, it's sort of a parts forming transformation. So pick this up, hope I don't break anything. Okay, so I suppose you got to do that. Fold these down as the instructions say. Fold these right here, and these I suppose are supposed to stay attached. Okay, whatever. Okay, so they're supposed to stay attached like that. Okay, fold them. Is it on like that? Oh, okay. Okay, it's supposed to be on like that. Okay. Okay, cool. And then, wow. Is it really like that? I have no idea. It actually just falls apart. Okay, so move the feet down, and you're supposed to remove the feet. Really? How do you remove the feet? Really? Okay. Oh, okay. I see. From the, it's like a Combiner Wars peg. Okay. I get it. Okay. So there. All right. And this one is hopeless. It will constantly just pop off. I just literally opened it up from packaging, and it already just wants to pop off. I'm not doing anything to it. Okay. Okay, let me just see if there is a way to just snap things on. Okay. All right. So it should stay on nicely that way. Okay. Next up, you gotta transform the feet. Okay, so the feet, Okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. And then these are supposed to be the crow's nest, I suppose. Okay, that's not so bad. Nice little pillars. Okay. Okay. Alright. Alright. And then this is supposed to be the front part, and oh, it opens, it flips down. And again, I don't wanna muck up that really nice paint job of chrome. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay, those are the cockpit. And then these things are supposed to fold. Is that right? Okay. All right. Fold down, but they're not folding down. So, okay. Okay. There we go. And they're supposed to form like a base or something. Is that right? Okay. A base of sorts. Okay. You can clip it right there. Clip it right there. Okay. So there you go. That, I suppose, is the base mode. And then you're supposed to open this up. How do you do that? Okay. Okay. Right there. And you're supposed to put it right here, right? Okay. Okay. All right. Is there a way to click it, or you do it the same way we did it back when it was still a trailer? Yep, I suppose that's the way you should do it. Okay, so just there's like the tabs right there in the middle, and then the grooves just slide over them. Okay. All right, and that is base mode. So pretty cool, pretty awesome looking base mode. And I suppose the figures get a seat right here. A couple of them can sit right here, I suppose. Oh, okay, the one can sit right here. Okay, the others, they can sit right here and can sit right here. Okay, and then there is another seat for the helmet at the back. You can sit right there, or it's like a crow's nest or something like that. So, okay, that's pretty cool. Very, very nice. All right, all right. Not the best mode, obviously. So we are we're just going to put this thing back. Oops, get rid of that. Okay. All right. So that is base mode. So let's get him into his robot mode. Okay, so here is the God Bomber back in truck mode, and we're gonna get him into his robot mode. And to do that, same procedure, but less disassembling, I hope. So fold down the feet, like that, fold down the wings, okay, and fold up these things. Really? So I guess you gotta detach them first. Okay. All right, fold them up. Am I doing it correctly? Okay, fold them up. Okay, so now they're on tight. Okay, they're not flopping up anywhere. I guess it's the flaps that I locked them into place. So that's what you should do. They're not gonna. These panels are not gonna fall off or anything like that. Okay, next, you want to fold up the fists. How do you do that? Can you just reach in? And, I spoke too soon. Okay, so there's really no way if you have, you got to open it up and then fold out the arms and then reattach these panels. Man. Okay. I'm starting to heat this figure already. Okay. And then you're supposed to fold the wings. Is that right? Just rotate the wings, just the wings, not the shoulders. Okay, like that. Okay, and then fold down these arm, shoulder pieces like that. Interesting. Okay, and then you're supposed to what the hell? Fold this up. Is that it? Okay, fold like that, like that. Okay, and then move this up. Oh, and then open up the chest cavity. Is that it? Again. Open the chest cavity and close it back up. Oh, okay, for the head, I suppose. Okay, and then move it like that. Okay. And then close it back up. Okay. Not too tight though, because yeah, you don't want to ruin the paint. And then move this up here. Is that it? Okay. Move like that and collapse. Okay. I suppose. All right. Okay. Okay, like that. Is that it? Okay. And this one is supposed to be right here. Is that it? Oh, it's very flimsy. Oh, okay, right there. Okay, so right there, looking good. All right, and then you got to, where are we? Okay, fold these things back and tab them in so that you'll solidify that torso piece. Oh, okay. There. Okay. And then you gotta fold up these pieces. Is that it? That's it, right? You just fold them up like that. Okay. All right. And then fold them down like this. No way. Really? That's it? I don't think so. Yeah, okay. That's what the instructions say. Okay, fine, whatever. Fold them down like that. Oh, okay, because this is the Ginrai chest. The God Bomber chest is on the other side. All right. All right. Okay, you gotta fold down the legs. Okay, like this and like this. Wow, he's pretty big. Okay, interesting. And then the feet. Oh, okay. So he's got the small heel spurs as the feet. Okay. Let me just, okay. Looking good. And I suppose this is his robot mode. No? Okay. Open up the arms like that. Okay. All right. Just back that up. Okay. Interesting. Okay, and then let's form the head. Okay, I'm gonna connect it right here. No helmet or anything like that. Oh, there is a helmet. Sorry, my bad. Of course, I just mentioned it. That's his helmet. And then you're supposed to mount the, I don't know what it is. I'm supposed to mount it as, no, he has a sword. Oh, okay. All right, you can put the blade back in, and then you can mount this as a shoulder cannon right here. Right, and that's pretty cool, right? So it's like, he's like big ass cannon. Okay, and then, or you can, if you want, give him the sword. Remove this one, of course. Can it just, okay, I suppose it can. You can pretend there is like a missile right there for the cannon, and then get that whole handle, and then he can hold it. Can he hold it properly? Okay. Oh, okay, there is a peg. There's a peg right there. for the handle, which I am very, very worried about breaking. Okay, so okay, I can hold it. I can hold his sword, and there is God Bomber. Interesting, very, very interesting. Okay, so it's a nice little robot. This is the first time I've done a review of God Bomber. I've not done any review of this particular set because I sold it right before I had a chance to review it. Some nice little paint apps here and there. It looks very dull, but I guess that's how the colors were back in the day. When Takara made this toy, the original God Bomber. I do have it locked up somewhere. I don't want to take it out right now, but suffice to say, it's pretty interesting. That original God Bomber was just a trailer armor. Well, it did transform into a robot, but it wasn't this big. This one's pretty big. Okay, so let's get this guy in robot mode. You've already seen the reviews of this one, both my Hasbro and the Takara Tomy version. This is the third copy I have of this toy. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty much the same as the Takara Tomy version. So let's just get him into robot mode very quickly without showing you guys off camera. Okay, and here is powermaster Optimus Prime, or Ginrai Optimus Prime, in his robot mode, and all that's left is really to put on his Titan Master in that slot, and that whole beautiful Titan Master head sculpt gets covered up with a helmet that has also a faceplate and all that. So it just covers it up. It's like a whole helmet can act as the head. I'm sure you can use the others as well on there, but you know, we're not going to do that. Yeah, the whole purpose, and they look great together. They are actually the same height, head to the tip of their helmets. He stands about 9.5 inches tall, just a little under 9.5 inches tall head to toe. Same as this guy, just under 9.5, about an eighth of an inch shy, an eighth or 2/8 of an inch shy of 9.5 inches. So very, very nice. And the whole purpose of this set is really to have your Powermaster Optimus Prime, your Titan's Return Optimus Prime, combined with his super armor, his God Ginrai armor. And that's what we're going to do now. Now, it's a whole messy process involving disassembling the whole God Bomber robot and just putting it on Optimus Prime, and nobody wants to see that. I don't think you want to see me fumble through that. So I'm going to do that off camera, and then I'm going to show you the combined mode, and we're going to talk about that combined mode, because I think that's really the crux of this whole video, the combined mode. So I'll be right back, combine them, and I'll show you. And here is the combined mode of God Ginrai. The Powermaster Optimus Prime, Titan's Return Optimus Prime, or Powermaster Optimus Prime, with the armor pieces and parts of God Bomber. And boy, this is one of the most epic Optimus Prime toys I have ever seen, or at least had a chance to play with and assemble, since that Jetfire, Leader Class Jetfire and Leader Class Optimus Prime from Revenge of the Fallen. Boy, it's not the best plaything in the world. I would not recommend giving this to a young child unless he's very familiar with Optimus Prime. The parts are just hanging, some of the parts are just hanging on pegs that could easily break and whatnot. There is a connecting piece right underneath that shoulder that might break in time, and boy, it's a great display piece. But if you're gonna play with this thing, maybe you want to get the cheaper version, the separate ones, the Legends, Powermaster Optimus Prime, and God Bomber, and not this exclusive set, because it is just great. I love the chrome pieces on it, and it gives you that feel of the old Powermaster Optimus Prime with God Bomber armor, the God Ginrai of G1, which I will show you in a little bit, in a little while. But I wanted to just talk about the detail of this. I didn't have him in a pose because I didn't want to fidget too much with it. I didn't want to fiddle around with the joints too much, because I'm afraid, you know, if I do too many poses, it will loosen it and all that. And that's the downside, I guess, of this figure. But as it is, there's so much detail. There's just so much epic attributes about this figure that I am just absolutely enamored with. One tip though, assembling it can be a bit finicky, especially with this piece, but once you get it, it connects easily. One tip though is for this arm piece, don't pull out the arm all the way out, okay? Make sure you just pull it a little bit, and so that this tab right here is just fits underneath that gray piece right there. I'm gonna give you a close-up right there, this tab here. Otherwise, if you pull it too much, it's gonna rest here and it's going to warp this piece. So that's one thing I would recommend. That's probably the only thing that needs special care and attention. Everything else, the feet right there, they tab in nicely. The chest piece, it tabs in nicely. Almost everything does its job what it's supposed to be. But I can't help but feel that the toy is a little bit too fragile for a younger collector. But case to case basis, some collectors are very mature for their age, and you can, if with a proper education and guidance, you know, there's no reason why a younger collector could not enjoy this thing. But as it is, these are for the older generation ones that really grew up with the God Ginrai Optimus Prime. So he's got his sword, the two guns, the two other guns are here. The shoulder cannon, I put the helmet right there because there's nowhere else to put it. You could tab it in right here, but it would look funny, so there. Also, one interesting feature about this one is you can fit all of the three Titan Masters, or Power Masters, or Titan Masters, Headmasters, right there on his chest. The fourth one being right here, obviously. And it's great. There's everything can be stored and connected in God Ginrai mode. There's some missiles here, like Robotech missiles right there. So very, very cool. Absolutely love it. Articulation is the same, and you still get that rocker pivot. All the articulations of Titan's Return or Power Master Optimus Prime, you will get it with this combined mode. So, how tall does he stand? Head to toe, it's just under 11 inches, if my ruler is correct. Yep, just under 11 inches, about 10 3/4 inches tall. Up to the wing is about 12 inches, up to the tip of the wing, almost 12 inches. So very, very tall. Now, speaking of the old G1 God Ginrai God Bomber combined mode, here he is. I dug him out of not storage, but in a cabinet somewhere. And here he is. I'm going to straighten up his legs so you get to see his full height. And he is still taller. I was surprised. I was actually expecting to be much shorter. But yeah, you get the whole idea of where this thing is coming from. For those of you who didn't grow up during this time, I had the Hasbro version without the God Bomber, and it had the very light red color. It didn't have chrome pieces. I broke some joints here and there. You know how it is when you were a kid. I got it when I was 13 years old, 12 years old, I think. I was in 7th grade, and it was my very first legitimate Optimus Prime figure. I never had the G1. I never had the Action Master. Did I have the Action Master? No, I never had the Action Master. I never had the G1 Optimus Prime when I was a kid. I had Optimus Primal after I got the Power Master Optimus Prime, and I loved that toy. I had passed it on to a buddy of mine who was looking for one. He had broken pieces in there here and there. I did an X deal or whatever. You know the story. But I could never forget the Power Master Optimus Prime, and it will always have a special place in my heart. And that is why this thing is very special, despite how awkward it may look or seem to some of you. Like, what a piece of junk. You're probably thinking, this is the God Ginrai? I mean, come on. It's flimsy. He's like a scarecrow. He's gangly, and I don't know. I love it. This one is absolutely more massive than that, and to some extent, a lot of the purists still prefer the old G1 toys. But me, I'm happy with the updated versions. Okay, speaking of updated versions, here he is with, I should have done with the other Optimus Prime. Combiner Wars, Leader Class Megatron with the DX9 upgrade kit. So he's really he's gonna get beat. I mean, they come face to face and he shows up. Optimus Prime shows up like this. No contest, man. I mean, he's gonna survive definitely. But look at that. And finally, the Power of the Primes, Leader Class Optimus Prime, right there. A little bit shorter with the upgrades. With the upgrades on this one, much longer, which is a great scale. And wow, you know, if you're trying to decide which Optimus Prime to put on your shelf, I say both. Each has its own merit. I love it. I love both of them. This is more G1. This is more of the toy in the anime continuity. This is more of the original US continuity. This one's Japan anime continuity. It doesn't matter. They're all great. Okay, before we have our final thoughts, let me show you how he looks like with the Combiner Wars Gestalt figures, the combined mode, the Combiner Wars figures. Okay. And just to give you an idea of how God Ginrai fares with the other big robots that Hasbro's released for the Generations line, the Combiner Wars, here are the Combiner Wars figures that I have with upgrade kits. So they're much taller than they normally are without the upgrades, obviously. So I'm gonna put the Ginrai figure just in front of them, and you are going to see that. Well, if you include the wings and all that, he is about right there. Head to toe, he's about a helmet short of everybody else. Menasor obviously very big. Devastator would be just up here, but I don't have the Takara told me Devastator is still in packaging, but he squares nicely with these guys, and yeah, very, very cool. All right, so let's go and wrap up this video with our final thoughts on the figure. Okay, and final thoughts on the set. It is an unbelievable set. Should you get it if you already have the original one with just the God Bomber, separate God Bomber and powermaster Optimus Prime? Well, if you're happy with it, you don't need to get this one. But for the hardcore enthusiast of how Optimus Prime and the toys were in the anime continuity in G1, this is a must-have. Because of the fact that there's better detail, the extra $20, $30 you're paying for it is for the chrome pieces, for the extra Power Masters or Titan Masters that you're gonna get with it. Extra detail. I believe I've seen pictures on the internet. There's some slight nuances in the tempos. It's a great set. You get the chrome blade. There's just nothing to hate about it. Sure, the finicky assembly and you put together, it's a little bit fragile. That'll probably take away about 2% of how much this thing is gonna win you over. I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. Despite that sense of fragileness that it has, it's still gonna get a 10 out of 10 for me, simply because it captures a lot of that nostalgia that went with this figure. And on top of that, Hasbro has just released the Power of the Primes. You got a Leader Class Megatron. You have the Masterpiece figures. This particular line, the Generations, the Classics, Henkei, Universe, Generations, Reveal the Shield, Whatnot, Chugger line, this is one of the crown jewels that you are going to have when you get it. I cannot praise it enough. I had wished I had done a review of the first release of the God Bomber, but I'm kind of glad I let it go because this one is definitely worth the money. So don't pay too much for it. I don't think you should pay more than $200. I think that's a stretch. I think $150 to $160 should be tops. If you can get it for $140, $135 here and there, that's the sweet spot for the figure. If you can get it for like I don't know, like $120, boy, you have got a deal, because I don't think anybody would sell this one mint in box for 120. That is probably as low as I think I would see this thing go. But if you can get that for that price, that is a steal. So with that, I love this figure. I highly recommend it. If you haven't picked it up and you're a big fan of the Generations line and the anime continuity of the G1 Transformers, this is an absolute must-have. Even if you have that one. If you're thinking of getting, oh, should I get just the Hasbro version, the Siege and Cybertron, and you're saving money for Siege and Cybertron versus this. No. Wait for the Siege of Cybertron to go on clearance. This is the one you want to spend your money on. It's a Japanese import. You're going to pay some extra money for it, and it's well worth it. So there you go, folks. I hope you've enjoyed this little video review. This has been the Transformers Legends LGEX special edition collector gift box gift set God Ginrai. Thanks for watching.